Hello good people, welcome to Keep Left, your all car guide to all things cars and all things automotive. As always, my name is Kev, the host who knows most about cars. And once again, we are at Fortis Limited. If you haven't watched a video on the introduction of Fortis Limited, kindly watch that so that this episode makes sense to you. So Fortis Limited is a car dealership up in Lavington. They are able to sort for you the best and pristine cars. They also have a dealership where they sell cars, so you can look them up in their socials, Instagram and Facebook. I'll put the links on the description of this video, so give them a look and they'll probably be able to sort you out in terms of your car needs. So now, without further ado, the car on review today is none other than the Volvo XC60. The thing about Volvos is, when you try to look at Volvo's history, the one thing that comes to mind is the very long station wagons and sedans that graced our roads. But from that time up to now, Volvos have grown up. And boy, oh boy, don't they have some good designs. When I look at this car, the XC60, it is very reminiscent of a Tiguan, the VW Tiguan. I don't know who stole design cues from who, but they kind of look the same. But having said that, I wouldn't take anything from this car. This car has much more to offer in terms of luxury, design cues, and the proposition it gives you in terms of its drivability. As I had mentioned, this is the XC60 with, if you come close to me, with the XC, the X denotes crossover and the C is country, so it's a crossover country vehicle. The T5, now the thing about T5, and I'll mention it later on again, the T5 they have three denotations. There's a T5, T6 and T8. Now the T5 denotes Volvo with a turbocharger. If it was a T6, it is a twin charge. It has a turbocharger and a supercharger. Finally, the T8 mostly deals with the hybrid derivatives of the XC60. Now, what do you know about Volvos? We know that they are Swedish. We also know that they are very safe. In fact, Volvo has the highest safety rating of any car. This car comes with a 5-star rating. This is 5 out of 5 in terms of safety. And this is not something that they've started in the recent past. Volvos, throughout their history, have been known to be the safest cars to drive. And if you don't believe me, Volvo have a certain trait that not most people know about. Did you know that safety belts were designed by Volvo? Exactly. So that tells you that the primal instinct of any Volvo that is being put on the road is, first, it has to be safe. Then it can take other design cues like have a luxurious interior and even design cues in terms of the shape. So that is something that you can note about these cars. The XC60 was first convened in 2008. So this is the first generation of the XC60, which started from 2008 to 2016. The second generation takes it up from there from 2017 up to date. What I can note about the XC60 is that in the first generation, they did not offer any hybrid versions of this particular model, but they have 3 basic trim levels, which go by, the first one is the Momentum, which is basically the base model, like this particular model. There is the R design, which is the sport package of the XC60, and finally they have an Inspiron trim level, which denotes basically the luxury model of the XC60. So in terms of the engine bay, they maintain a very clean and easy to work on engine bay, and which is very nice anytime in a car. So in terms of drivetrains, this car comes with 2 basic drivetrains, which is the all-wheel drive, and this one, the 2-wheel drive with front-wheel bias. And just to confirm that, you can see the gearbox is just here, transversely mounted. Now, in terms of engines, they have a 2-liter inline 4. They have a further 2-liter and a 2.5-liter inline 5. Finally, they have a 2.9 liter and a 3.2 liter inline 6. Now, this is the 2-liter, and you can note that the engine and the gearbox, they are transversely mounted. If it were the all-wheel drive derivative, they would be longitudinally mounted, so that to enable a drivetrain to the back tires. In terms of gearboxes, they have 3 different gearboxes. They have a 6-speed manual, a 6-speed auto, and finally an 8-speed automatic. They are simple as that. And all these gearboxes are able to maximize on the fuel consumption. When it comes to the manual derivatives, they are mostly found in the R designs of this particular model, which is the XC60. Something you can note about Volvo, and in terms of, just to echo their safety measures that they have in their cars. You see on the headlights, these headlights, the xenon bulbs, they have a mechanism that allows them to turn when you turn the tires. This is to make sure that in corners, you are able to illuminate a corner. This comes hand in hand with, if you follow me, you have a lot of cameras in the car. This is reminiscent of the eyesight that is in Subarus. You see, there are cameras there. And if you follow me, there's an extra camera. There's an extra camera at the back. This is to give a holistic view in terms of the proximity sensors. And once we get into the car and just do a short drive, you'll notice how much the proximity sensors, sorry about that, work to enable this car to be a safe drive. The car comes with a key fob, and most cars these days come with it. So all you need to do is just press on this and the car will open. Another thing you can note is this key indicator here. When you look at the fob, you don't have any key. So most people don't know that when you just on the key fob, you have a lever here you can push, and then a key comes out. You just need to pop this and open manually. This happens when probably the battery is low. Inside the car, one thing you can note is you have Volvo card. So this car comes with anti-burglary and safety equipment. So the other thing you can notice is I don't like this locking mechanism, in the sense that, especially with a car that is not tinted, this people are able to know if your car is locked or if it is open. It's something that I'm a bit skeptical about, especially in Nairobi, where people will note that and they will try and get into your car. So now the other thing is, if you notice the car, these sort of a black and beige finish, which is very, very nice. I like it so much. The interior is very plush, and you can tell Volvo is determined to accentuate the fact that it's a luxury model. Remember, this is a Swedish car, so it remains in the European domain, and one of the things that they like to accentuate is the fact that these cars are luxury cars. This is all leather. This is all leather, by the way, and very fine leather, if you can tell. So in terms of the space at the back, I like the fact that I like the positioning of the venting. If you can just note, you see the venting is on the B pillar of the car, this center pillar, which is very nice. And one thing you can note, looking at the sitting position, is this venting is very well positioned to take care of me. You can note that most cars, especially the compact SUVs, will have the venting put in this position, or if even some will even lack a venting for the back sitting people. But the fact that these ones are here, they are very well positioned to take care of cooling or warming the people at the back, which is very nice. It has a very raised transmission tunnel, which is not ideal, which means people sitting in this position are actually not in the most comfortable position. But in terms of space for the car, it is more than well spaced. It's very nice in terms of the headroom and also the legroom at the back. You have this popping center armrest, which also acts as a cup holder for your car. This is also leather and plastic, which means it's durable. The other thing you can note is standard this car comes with Isofix. This is for putting the child chairs, so you can just at the back of this seat there are some harnesses for you to lock your chairs in. I like the interior, it's very nice. And also I always maintain leather interiors are very easy to clean and very durable, and then unless there is very adverse damage to them. Let's go to the front. Remember, this is a luxury car, so I like the way they designed the center console. In fact, this center console is what they refer to as a floating center console. If you note, let me just put my hand here. So this is floating, means the electronics run through this center console. It has this silverish trim, which is very nice. At the center console, there are some cup holders and a port for you to charge your car. They have a further console which doubles up as an armrest for you. The way the gear is positioned is very nice. Volvo maintain a very simple finish into their center control, which comes quite well in terms of this acts as your infotainment system, and it couples up with the steering controls, which if you can notice that this is if you can see, this is like almost like a telephone, which means you can actually pair this with your phone and then you can use this to call. They also have a further infotainment system here, which acts as to give you the climate control, radio and all that. The other thing you can note is this car comes standard with paddle shifters here for the negative and the positive one, to reduce to go gear down and to go a gear up. I like the size of the steering. It's very nice. The other thing that you can note about this car is the seats are electronically controlled. So you have 3 preset positions for your seats. You have levers here to control the seats back and forward. You have this one to just to the back position of the seat to move it. Yep. The driver's seat has more functions in the sense that it has preset positions which you can set and just when you come to the car, you always have that. The other thing you can see is, you remember when I was showing you the safety equipment that the car has, these are the cameras that come with the car standard. This is Volvo equipment. This is not aftermarket equipment. So this very much helps the car to deal with all factors. So with the key fob, you have 2 functionalities. You can either just put the key here. This is push to start. You can put the key here, but you don't push it in like in most VWs where you have to push it in just to start. This has a further button to start the car. Equally, the car can just start if this is in your pocket. So the car has electronic park brake as opposed to the traditional lever that you have at the center of the car. So just to release the park brake, you pull it. Yeah. So we'll take just a short drive to test this car. And the whole idea is this car comes very firm in terms of its suspension. The suspension, you can't even feel any bumps on the road or any rough road, so to speak, which is a good thing considering this is an SUV, and this sorry, not an SUV, a compact crossover vehicle. So with that aspect, this car has to be very firm on the road because it's almost a big car. The steering is very easy to handle and very smooth. You actually can't tell this car is a compact crossover. Yeah, it's a nice car. Volvo have been able to do something that we never thought they could. This is, when you think about Volvos, you never come to think about them as a car that you can actually own for the good part of their life. But they've come to tell a different story in the sense that I would buy this car over many other derivatives that are in the market in this space. And the number of cars in this space have become countless. Many manufacturers are going the crossover side. This is because there is an aspect of people no longer buy saloon cars or sedans as compared to crossover vehicles like this particular one. So the Volvo XC60 is a very good proposition in terms of a car. Most people will not go to buy the Volvo because they fear, which brings me to some of the biggest drawbacks about the Volvo. So now the thing about the Volvos is, in terms of aftermarket support, and especially in Kenya, they lack a lot. And what do I mean about that? If you are to go outside and look for parts for a Volvo, there are very few dealers who are supplying the parts for these cars. But if you are to compare with another car, probably a Mercedes or a BMW and even a VW, note I have mentioned European cars, they have much bigger support. This is because the Volvo niche is very small. The people who like Volvos are very few, but they are very good cars. They are very reliable. The only thing is people are very skeptical about the cars. Something you can note about the boot is that it comes with this very handy, I'll call it like a harness. So the thing is, this for you, if you want to access the things below there, you just pull this and then you hang it here on this weather stripping, and then you can access all this. This is very well packaged. You can put so many things in these compartments. Now this design is aided by the fact that this car does not have a spare wheel. So now what you get is this compressor and the fluid. I've demonstrated the functionality of this particular compressor and the fluid system in my video on the Honda Fit. If you haven't watched that video, just you can watch that video. There's a link that will be on this video just about now. You can watch that. So basically, the drawback about the compressor and the fluid system is if you get a tire burst, you're screwed, in the sense that this is not fixing that. In conclusion, I have been very surprised by what the Volvo XC60 has to offer. To be honest, it was the first time that I'm driving any Volvo. In fact, I'm still the traditional people who believe that the Volvos were the old ones, that the sturdy ones. But this car is very sturdy and it is very safe. You can actually tell by the body of this car, it is well made. It is a very functional car. This car has very high safety ratings, which is the biggest bonus about this car. The safety testing on these cars is astronomical. It is that good. And this is to cater to the fact that these cars are designed to cater for small families. The crossover SUVs cater for small families. So if you have a high safety rating, you are going to have more people keen on buying this particular car. In conclusion, thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed, take this opportunity to subscribe. If you've subscribed, press on the bell icon to get notification of future videos. And until next time, it is peace.